Going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We've got quite an exciting quarterfinal just around the corner. It's going to be Samoa taking on New Zealand. It's a rematch of the Cape Town Sevens final in which Samoa, even though the conditions were absolutely wet as, I think it's the best way of describing it, they almost needed a boat to get out to the middle of the field. But Samoa, they were able to win that matchup 12 points to 5, and they'll be looking to beat the Kiwis here once again in Sydney. Looking through at that Samoan starting lineup, they will be as follows. It is Va'a Apilo Maleko. He's added back into the starting lineup after coming off the bench in the last game up against Spain. Motu Opitai, Taunuu Naulivaya, Paul Scanlon, Malani Matavao. Now, here's one that I mentioned earlier on in my preview that needed to start. We'll go in depth with that in just a short moment. Tuna Tuitama, another exciting prospect for the Samoans, only recently added into the Sevens circuit, and ever since then has been a bulldozer of an individual. And then Fa'afoi Falaniko, the last man in that Samoan starting lineup. Then for New Zealand, it will be Sam Dixon, Dylan Collier, Sione Molia, Joe Weber, Akulia Rokalisoa, Leroy Carter, and also Roderick Solo. So going with one of the more experienced sides that the Kiwis could have gone with in this matchup up against the Samoans. We have got favour in the chat. Said Samoa versus New Zealand will be the grand finals winner as well. And go Samoa from Apakuki. Fa'amalosi all the way. Uso says for Lady Ampola. Samoa, who Sala is going for. And 88% of the poll are picking Samoa to go on and win this matchup up against New Zealand. So whether that's basing it off Cape Town, that was only a few months ago where they were able to beat New Zealand in the final, or whether it's just that heart and soul of the Samoans, they are never going to knock back their side, which is absolutely incredible to see. Hi from Sports Highlights, welcome in. Hope you are doing well, mate. You ready, my Usos? Better beat us, says Nate in the chat. But I was talking about Malani Matavao a little bit earlier on. We'll go back into that. He's only recently returned from injury. He got his first start up against Spain, but that man was absolutely brilliant with his drop kicks, getting 10 points from conversions, whereas prior to that game, they had been missing a few of those kicking attempts. So that's why Malani Matavao, I feel, is one of the biggest keys for Samoa in this matchup against New Zealand. He needs to get those kicks over and needs to keep that momentum rolling for Samoa. Also with the experience, a very handy player to have out there on the park. Thank you for the commentary, says TT. No worries at all. We will be going all the way through doing the semi-finals, the finals. Whoever gets knocked out of this game, we will be doing their next game that has taken place. They will be facing off against the winner of France versus Australia. That is the last quarterfinal that we will see, and that one is happening at 11:07 New Zealand time. We have got all the best boys, says Daola, and also the Samoan flags all day. Usos for life, says Tealfu. Hopefully I've said that correctly. But Samoa, they certainly have plenty of support. They came 9th last week, whereas New Zealand, they did finish 2nd. But it seems to be a bit of a trend because Argentina, they came 1st last week, and at best they can finish 9th this week in Sydney. So it seems to be once you get to the top of the mountain, there's a big peg that you go down, but then you can continuously build yourself back into it, which is exactly what the Samoans have been able to do so far in their pool stage. They were able to beat Ireland 17 points to 12, a brilliant performance from Samoa in that contest, as that was a must-win game, and they were able to win it. Then they were able to take down the USA, and then they managed to beat Spain in their final contest. 35 points to 15, a little bit closer than they would have been wanting, but still a win nonetheless. When does the game start? It is going to be kicking off in 3 minutes' time. The first of 4 quarterfinals we are going to be seeing. Second one, it is going to be South Africa versus Ireland. Then we go to Fiji versus France. In fact, Fiji versus Great Britain. And then Australia versus France are going to live the game. Unfortunately, due to licensing, we're unable to show match footage, but I can recommend the World Rugby Sevens YouTube channel and the World Rugby Sevens website if you do want to catch this game live. Depending on the country you're in, it may be free, but then also there may be, unfortunately, the subscription that you've got to have to a certain sporting website to be able to do so. Amalo Hamish, Samoa all day Uso, says King T. In fact, do let me know in the chat your score predictions for this matchup. Who do you think will be taking out this quarterfinal, and what do you think the score will be? Looking through at the benches for ththese two sides, it will be Paul Eti Slater, Levi Milford, Noeli Letufia, who has been very handy lately, Owen Nui, the man of the match for me up against Spain, managed to get himself 2 tries and made a match-saving or a try-saving tackle a little bit earlier on as well. And then BJ Lima. Scored 1 try in the last game up against Spain, looking to add an impact late in the contest. Then for the New Zealand side, they've got Lewis Ormond, a very experienced man who missed a few legs of the sevens, but he's now back. And rearing to go, Narohi McGarvey Black, kicking option later on in the game. Amanaki Nicole, Brady Rush, and the youngster Peyton Spencer, at 18 years of age, now finds himself in a quarterfinal up against one of the hardest hitting sides in all the sevens. Mate, I was so happy that Great Britain won against Argentina. CS Sports highlights, and New Zealand wins 33-0. Tell you what, if that happened, that would be absolutely massive for New Zealand. But then I don't know if I see this game being split by more than 10 points, maybe even split by less than 7 with these two sides. They always love just throwing everything into it. The last 2 times that they have played, they have beaten New Zealand Samoa, 24 points to 0 in Hong Kong, 12 points to 7 in that final at Cape Town. But the 3 times before that, they were always close, but New Zealand were just able to edge it, which means this game could easily go either way. And she even brought Mangare waiting on Otara, says Blues Nate, and also 31-0 for New Zealand is the prediction there from Roloff, and also 24 points to 10 in favour of the Samoans wins the semi for the women, says Rice. It is tomorrow at about 6 p.m. or somewhere around there, maybe a little bit earlier on. And how do we lose to South Africa? At the end of the day, South Africa, they took their chances. They had more yellow cards out there on the field. I should mention New Zealand, they certainly don't want to get penalised up against the Samoan side because they know how to make the most of a man advantage. 21 points to 17 up against New Zealand, positive, says King T. And also as the game playing, they are just running out now, ladies and gentlemen, for this matchup. Samoa versus New Zealand under lights at Allianz Stadium. Still a lot of people in attendance. We know that it seems to be Fiji are the fan favourites in Sydney, but Samoa, they do sound like they are a close second. New Zealand, they didn't get out of their pool stage undefeated, which is the difference between them and Samoa in this matchup. Samoa winning 3 from 3. New Zealand losing their most recent fixture up against South Africa. It was a last-minute penalty that did cost them that game. I think 14 points to 24, says Tamanui. And also, let's go New Zealand, says Rice. If we're talking key players, I mentioned it already in that preview. I said Malani Matavao for the Samoans. Also having Va'a Pilomaliko back in that starting lineup could be massive for this 7 side. New Zealand's got to be Dixon, Collier, and Rokalisoa, the more experienced guys on the side. Rokalisoa with his pace. This game's going to be awesome, ladies and gentlemen. And it is only about 30 seconds away. Kia ora, brother. May the better team win, says Nave Wilson in there. And I just know both sides are going to go out there and throw absolutely everything into it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The matchup between Samoa and New Zealand. Like they've said, the biggest game of the quarterfinals. And it is just about to get underway with New Zealand kicking off from right to left up against the Samoans. He kicks long there, Rockley. So a little bit of a different tactic, but it sits up for Malani Matavao, 10 metres out from the Samoan line. Thought about going for the offload, instead takes it to ground. Now Samoa, they'll have this slow build up here trying to get out of their own 22, and Tui Tama's just run about 15 metres with a man on his side. Penalty goes the way of Samoa. Right. They need to be strategic about this. You don't want to rush. You don't want to quick tap it and then end up losing the ball to New Zealand. Best bet here is to kick this ball downfield into touch and trust your line out. And that's exactly what the Samoans are going to be doing. They're currently ranked 5th. That one hasn't found touch. That's not what I was explaining for him, unfortunately. And now with that kick missing, it didn't just miss the touchline by like a metre or 2. It missed by about 10. So I don't know what happened with the kicking, but it did not work. Now down the wing, Roderick Solo is pretty good in the last game up against Spain. Might have been taken off the ball there. And it is going to be going the way of New Zealand. Discipline, so important for Samoa. And it might even be a yellow card here. Hey, Hamish, long time. I hope you're doing well, says T7. I hope you are doing well too, mate. So yeah, taking the player out without the ball, unfortunately, there for Fa'afoi Falaniko. He's going to get a yellow card for this. And that is one of the silliest things that we've seen from Samoa throughout this competition. Unfortunately, it was just not necessary. They were going to win the foot race. They didn't need to do that. And Solo is having a great tournament, says Sports Highlight. He is indeed, I think, 24-14, says Tamanui. And also my little brother says, Evan, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Do put in your score prediction in the chat if you haven't already. It's going to be Rokali Soa. We'll feed this ball in for New Zealand. So because he took him out back near the halfway line, because he was taken out, it's actually where the ball finished for where the scrum is. So they've gone up to the 22 now for New Zealand. And Rokali Soa puts the ball in. round the side of the breakdown. Here come New Zealand again. Joe Weber, one more pass on the outside to Roderick Solo, one-on-one out wide with Tuitama. But, well, brilliant defense from Mataval to get back across. Tuitama wins the penalty for Samoa. Bit of push and shove, bit of argy-bargy. Here we go. There's a passion out there on the park for these two sides. Tuitama getting right in the face of Leroy Carter there. Now, it's interesting because I believe in my preview, correct me if I'm wrong, but I said that Sam Dixon and Tuitama might have a bit of push and shove. And then I corrected it and said that I thought it would be Leroy Carter and Tuitama who might push and shove each other. And they've just done that. And we're only a couple minutes into the game. Samoa kick it downfield. This time they do find touch. So a lot better from the Samoans here. Yet to concede, even though they are down to 6 men on the field. Paul Scanlon about to throw the ball in. Dixon unable to grab it for the Kiwis. And now Scanlon goes across to Mataval. It's an awkward bouncing ball. They're cleaned up now by Tuitama, who's out on the wing. Great low tackle made by Joe Weber. Tied up both the ankles and said, you're not going anywhere. Scanlon back across. 22 metres out from their own line here. Trying to step through. Nice bit of work from Falaniko. In fact, sorry, it was Naulivaya. Pilomaleko trying to dodge. He's managed to get through the tackle. Sione Molia, who's disappointed. And now Pilomaleko showing off his skill down the wing, but he's going to be isolated. And Rokalisoa and Collier both drive him into touch. Rokalisoa takes it quickly for the Kiwis. Leroy Carter now 45 metres out from the Kiwi line. Loose pass. Collier cleans up. At the moment, both sides seem like they're rushing it a little bit. There isn't a lot of patience in the attack. Both sides trying to pretty much throw it 1,000 miles an hour. It's a knock-on from New Zealand, and Samoa now get themselves the scrum. And also we have got there, can we see what you see, man? Unfortunately, like if I could, I would. But sadly, due to licensing, if I show any match footage or audio, they do copyright strike you and you get banned from streaming for 3 months. So I wish there was a way, but I know that there'll be some sort of some sort of video that someone will upload after the match is done. It might get taken down eventually due to copyright, but yeah, straight after the match, there should be someone illegally uploading it on YouTube. It sadly just can't be us, or else we get in trouble. But now, Samoa about to feed the ball in again. Samoa have not reached the Cup semi-finals in Australia since 2015. Short ball. Almost Falaniko going through. He's back out on the field after his yellow card. Now Mataval goes to Tuitama. Big bump off. Pilomaleko does a quick little step. Rokalisoa makes that tackle. Carter drives Mataval backwards. All still available. Pilomaleko. One more to Scanlon. Nice step. Round Sioli Molia. And Samoa, they're looking to keep this ball alive. They don't want to have happen what happened to the Fijian women's side, which is every time you go to the breakdown, the team get the the team get the turnover. And you're going to pay for Kiwi lads to be at the game. Says it was Tuitama. And who you go for? I am from New Zealand, so I should be going for them, but I absolutely love watching Samoa play. They're probably the team that hit the soft spot in my heart. You know, I always love watching them succeed. When I watched them in Cape Town, it was a brilliant moment because I'd watched them ever since they came back onto the Sevens circuit, and all the way through I had said, this is a side that is going to win a title at some stage. And then when they finally did, yes, the conditions were really weird because it was absolutely bucketing down and the field was flooded, but a win's a win, and they got there. Samoa may lose, brother, says Nave. There is a chance, but there's also a chance New Zealand may lose. I think Va'a Pilomaleko at the moment is injured, which is not good news for the Samoans, as he was one of the main guys for them throughout the rest of the tournament. And also, you're right, man. I just said you vote for New Zealand, says Ta'afu in there as well. Well, that's the thing. It surprises me sometimes how impartial I can be. I actually got ripped into in one of the comment section. Someone said that I was the most anti-New Zealand commentator they had ever heard. And I think that was just because I said the other team might win. And they were like, no, you're not allowed to say that. Even though New Zealand lost that game, so I was right. But they were like, no, you're not allowed to. You're anti-New Zealand. Now Leroy Carter going down the wing. Almost flicked into touch. But now Motu Opitai keeps it alive. Samoa, 10 metres out from their line, kicking it downfield, trying to find touch, but it's actually carved back inwards off the bounce. Sam Dixon on the halfway line will have this one. 2.5 minutes left, and neither side able to score a point yet. But now Roderick Solo pins the ears back, breaking through one tackle, looking for the corner. And the Kiwis strike first in the quarter-final, or did he? He has. It is going to be given as the try and Bulla Spider. And also should be a red for New Zealand for his full swinged at the Samoa player, says Yari now. And also we have got yes from, it was Tamanui, but it was Leroy Carter. First initial break, just somehow kept his foot inside of the field of play. And we're talking millimeters here. Being able to offload it right when he smacks into the turf. And then Roderick Solo. He was talking to the Samoan player when he missed the ankle tap. And then was able to get a try. Says it was Tamanui as well. But now the kick from wide for New Zealand. It's going to be a tricky one. And it's unsuccessful. Goes away to the left-hand side. Nice try, says BJF. 160 as well. And try to try. Let's go. Says Tamanui as well. So 90 seconds left in this first half. Currently New Zealand with a 5-0 lead. Ref always for New Zealand, says Taiafu. And there as well. And now Roderick. Oh, sorry, that was actually a Rokalisoa. Kicked it off short. Malani Matavao. Ball's gone through his hands. Collier almost able to pick it up, but Nuulivaya cleans up for Samoa, who are now inside of their 22, looking to try and find that line break. Here comes Paul Scanlon. Little bit of a shepherd run there from Samoa. He didn't mean to. It's just his teammate ran straight at him. That's going to be dropped by Malani Matavao. They say it went backwards. And, it's just into touch. That would have been Scanlon gone. And he would have made it to the try line. But there was just a little bit of the boot that did end up going out of the field of play. Or did it? Ooh. It's close. We're talking, that was less than a millimeter, that one. And also come on the All Blacks. And New Zealand looks hungry. And what's your prediction for this game, says Sports Highlights? I went New Zealand by 5, I believe, before the match. But I can't actually remember. I might have said a different score. Did I say New Zealand by 12? No, I don't know what my score was. That's how serious I am about my score predictions. I can't even remember them. Half the time Samoa will come back and win on that game, says Tafu. They've got a good chance. They're only 5 down. If they score a try now, that will make it 5-all. If they convert it, 7 points to 5, they take the lead at half time. That's the ideal scenario. There's going to be an advantage for New Zealand, though, for Samoa being offside. They're going to be going back for the initial penalty. Leaving just a little bit early, New Zealand. A lot of veterans in their side. They might consider slowing this down, deciding to kick this one for touch. Rokalisoa. We'll be looking for the touchline here. New Zealand will win, says Name. New Zealand will win, says BJ F160 as well. Now that is going to be the halftime hooter, but the game is not at its halftime yet. Still New Zealand have this line out throw. We've seen 4 penalties throughout this first half, 2 for Samoa, 2 for New Zealand. So relatively even in that department. But we did see that yellow card for Samoa. Drop ball from Sam Dixon. Knock on a barge for the Samoans. They've got numbers on the left. Nuulivaya. In fact, it was Fa'afoi Falaniko. Now gives it to Tuitama. Tries to get round Solo. Sits him down. Leroy Carter gets him on the 22 though. But Samoa still in possession. Motu Opitai goes to Matavao. This is the best attacking opportunity we have seen from Samoa today. Scanlon looks for a miracle offload. Does manage to find the hands of Apilo Maleko, who tries to kick it in behind. Possibly took a bit of a dive there, Maleko. That ball kicked into touch by Joe Weber. And that is going to be halftime. He thought he might have been able to get away with it, taking the player out penalty there, Matavao. Or sorry, Apilo Maleko. He might have hurt himself in the process, though. And also, Kiwi, you said 14-21 you'll score in Samoa, bro. So if they win, says tuck the 27. And also, we have got there a lot of people on here have Samoa to win, not me, though. Says John, although only 5 points difference at the moment between the two sides. Anything can happen when we get to the second half. Anyone who is new to the channel, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 22,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. We are going to be covering plenty more of the Sevens Rugby Union in the future, including some Samoan players for Moana Pacifica, International Rugby, the Rugby World Cup, only about 7 months away. We're going to be covering it all on the channel, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's see how close we can get to that 22,000 by the end of this live stream. I've got their tight games, there's Nate. Absolutely. Every time these two sides play, it's always split by 7 or less points. And that was proven in the final, which Samoa were able to win 12 points to 7. It was proven in the game beforehand. In fact, no, that's a lie. That game beforehand, Samoa obliterated New Zealand and won at about 22 points to 0. So that one's probably the outlier of the scenario. That was an absolutely brilliant game. I remember it in Hong Kong, and the chat everyone was confused. They were like, hang on, what is going on at the moment? Samoa just try after try after try. New Zealand had no answer for them. And now in this game, Samoa need to try and find some of that Hong Kong momentum and get it going for the second 7 minutes. New Zealand very sharp, says Evan. And I think with those extra experienced players, it also definitely helps. And off the bench, they're going to have Orman, McGarvey Black, Amanaki Nicole, all these guys who have been there, done that for the Kiwis. Whereas Samoa, a little bit less experience, but I'd say a lot more explosiveness off the bench with Owen Nui. Scored 2 tries in the last match, made a match-saving tackle at the start of that game. Of course, it didn't influence the match at the end, but it seemed like such an important moment for the Samoans. And that was when the rest of the team really fired up as well. But it's kicked off. Samoa retained their own kickoff, and that's exactly what they needed, although that was knocked backwards by New Zealand, and they've been able to rip the ball away. Samoa with the counter ruck. Not able to get the ball, though. Now Joe Weber looks to his outside, gives it to Sam Dixon, a solid individual taken down by Nu'ulevaia. Now Leroy Carter sees the short side is open. Decides he wants to try and back himself. Just bumps off Paul Scanlon, but tackled by Motu Opitai. Ball knocked on by the Kiwis. And Samoa now will have themselves another opportunity. Do you got your phone on your Kiwis, says Tracy? It is on charge over there. So sadly not, unfortunately. So I don't know what the odds are sitting at for this match, but I'd say they're pretty close at the moment between them. They're talking to Regan Weir on the touchline at the moment. Injured player, so he will not be playing in any of the remaining matches of the Sydney Sevens. Tell you what, I always look at these games and go, how are there not more injuries? Because these guys, like, it just sounds hard when they're out there. You just hear every time that there's contact. And the likes of a Tuitama, a young guy with nothing to lose and everything to gain by winning a match up against the Kiwis. He's going to put everything into every challenge. Now Scanlon goes across again. Tuitama receives it on the wing. Trying to back his pace. Roderick Solo drags him down, though, in a good tackle. It's important that you make your one-on-ones in this kind of contest because it could be the difference between a win and a loss. At the moment, 5 minutes 50 remaining in the second half of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. Va'a Pilomaleko taken down. New Zealand need to release. Nu'ulevaia back across. There was a man with hands on hips. I believe that was Joe Weber for New Zealand. That's not what the coach will be wanting to see. Definitely not if Samoa can get a line break now. Now Nu'ulevaia again. Passes on the outside. Motu Opitai gives it to Apelo Maleko. Bumps off. Dylan Collier keeps the ball in the field of play. Collier joins the breakdown. Can Dixon go for it? He can't. And it's a penalty to New Zealand, unfortunately. Oh, actually, no. It's going to be a Samoan penalty. They got it slightly wrong, and the referee does have to pull it back because he wasn't quite on the mark. And also, we got there. Let's go. Manu Samoa from Sunny Rivi. Hopefully, I said that correctly. Let's go, Samoa, says Chris. What is the time, please? At the moment, it is sitting with 5 minutes left in the second half. Tuitama. Oh, he didn't pass. And he's dropped the ball. That was the moment to give the ball off to Paul Scanlon, and it would have been a certain try for Samoa. A little bit of decision-making blunder from Tuitama has now put his team back under pressure as they will now be defending. Leroy Carter, 40 metres out from the line for New Zealand, but Samoa get the ball straight back in the breakdown. We're going to take it back. They take the quick tap. And now New Zealand, they've got 6 defenders. Leroy Carter staying down a little bit longer. So is Va'a Pilomaleko. In fact, sorry, he has got the ball now. Nice step. Dylan Collier takes him down. And that'll test out that knee of Apelo Maleko as he has had a few injury troubles with it throughout this Sevens competition. Now Scanlon. Ball on the inside to Tuitama, who does need to pass when the time is there. Instead, he kicks it in behind. He's going to be racing forward, but I believe it's going to be a foot race. Won by the Kiwi, or is it? It's taken back. No. It's taken back by New Zealand, which now means it's going to be a 5-metre scrum for the Samoans. Massive, massive moment in this game. We have got there. Love your week, bro. Let's go, Samoa, says Minnie. And then also, what's the time, please? At the moment, I believe we'll wait for the clock to come back up. But Roderick Solo had a amount of pressure on him there from the work of Tuitama. So the time is 4 minutes left now. So the time currently on the clock, I guess if you're talking the whole scheme of the match, would be sitting 10 minutes through the game. And Dixon is too slow, says John. And also we have got there Hayden Spencer, Blues future fly half, says Blues Nate. And there is, oh yeah, I wonder how old he will be before he gets signed for a Super Rugby club. We've already seen a couple of these Sevens boys get him picked up. Caleb Tangitau got signed for the Blues. why he is not there for the All Black Sevens in this one. But now Samoa 5 metres out. Can they score themselves a try that might give them the lead in this contest? The ball's loose. It's knocked on by Samoa. Little moments are something that can really cost you a matchup. New Zealand, they're smiling ear to ear because they know they just dodged a massive Samoan bullet. And Apelo Maliko says, Mini in there, an outstanding commentary game. Thank you. And also we have got the outstanding commentary game. Oh no, I read that one. It was a very good. Says F160. The Samoan flag from Jimmy there. Now, it will be New Zealand with the scrum feed, 5 metres out from their own line. Unfortunately, Samoa, they did drop that one just before, but now New Zealand have got this same crack that Samoa just had, except they will have to go the length of the field to be able to score themselves a try. Tuna Tuitama says Salmon, he's been 50-50 in this game. He's had some good moments, but he's also made a few mistakes, unfortunately, such as not passing to Scanlon when he had an open run to the try line. So he decided he wanted to take it on himself. Did end up losing the ball. Now Rokalisoa goes across New Zealand deep inside of their own 22, so they decide to go to the boot, something you don't see too often in the game of sevens in terms of kicking for clearance and for territory. Owen Nue takes it nicely, getting close to the touchline. Now Rohi McGarvey Black, I believe they're going to call that a rolling maul, are they? Yes, they do. So if that ball doesn't come out, New Zealand will then get themselves a scrum. And the pressure just keeps on building for the Samoans here. Yes, go Samoa, make that score, please. Says it was, I apologize if I get your wrong name. Is it Fa'alaina? Fa'alaina? I'm probably saying that terribly, aren't I? It might be Lay, actually. Fa'alaina? And hello there, Kiwi lads. Maybe New Zealand can come back. Samoa very strong. Says Roof. They certainly are. And something else that is strong is the support for the Samoans at Allianz Stadium. We see the youngster Peyton Spencer now makes his way onto the field. What a moment for the youngster. His first playoff game that he's ever had. And it's up against the Samoans, who will look to rearrange your rib cage if you do hang on to the ball too long. It's going to be a Kulio Rokalisoa. Puts the ball in for New Zealand. Samoa need to get this position back at some stage soon. Now Rohi McGarvey Black. I should mention, due to this game being an evening game, going to be a little bit of dew around as well. Straight on the ball. Owen Nue unable to get the turnover. Now Rohi McGarvey Black. Rokalisoa. Now across Dylan Collier. A little bit off his wing. Tries to go for the step. That was out. Surely that was out. Yes, it was. And they will be going back now for the line out. Samoa's ball. Trying to go through. Thinking about going quickly, but they won't be able to. And Spencer Ron says, Asefa Brown, he certainly is. And also, where's Mum says the Tractor Sport? She's actually up in Chicha at the moment, up in Christchurch. So I'm home by myself. So yeah, don't have my mum with me for this live stream. I have to get her on for one soon, though. Super Rugby Aupiki doing the women's games. Perhaps we can get her back, just like we did for the Women's World Cup. And also, we have got their boss, the Tractor Sport says, Nate, and got to work now. Have a quick listen to you, Kiwi lads. New Zealand, move it. Says Roof. Now it's going to be Letufia throwing the ball in. Oh, it's a knock-on again from Samoa. They managed to win their own line out, but it's those little mistakes that are still creeping in. I've mentioned it many times over in this matchup. Too high from Tuitama. Penalty for the high shot. Discipline. It's the key word at the moment, and it's not going well. And Super Rugby, who's going to win? I feel like the Crusaders are definitely a side that are hard to knock back, but you never know. Super Rugby is one of those nice competitions that anyone has got a decent chance if they make it through to those finals. New Zealand going for the territory now. Slows the game down. 25 metres out from the line here. They are now going to have themselves a line out. So you'd have to say, Samoa, they've got one more chance in this match. Now he can't handle the ball right. And it is the King's son, or the King's son any good. He's decent from what I've seen. I've only seen him, of course, for a couple minutes. But this game, he's had the ball once. The game beforehand, though, he did have a nice step on him, which is good news. Now slapped back by New Zealand. Now Rohi McGarvey Black. Loose ball from New Zealand. Almost jumped on by Eti Slater, but doesn't get to it in the end. Now New Zealand protect it. 1 minute left on the clock. Samoa lurking round each and every breakdown, trying to get that turnover. They rip him to ground. Still on the side of the Kiwis. Now Rohi McGarvey Black goes short side. Off to SYDNEY Rugby. Samoa cannot afford to miss a tackle. Va'apelo Maliko over the ball. Can he go for it? No, he doesn't quite get it. Orman now gives it back across New Zealand, sitting 25 metres out. Now Spencer goes one more. Out to Brady Rush. Couple steps. Samoa offload to Rokalisoa. Taken down And once again, protected by New Zealand. Only 25 seconds left on the clock. This could be the last-minute try that they're after. And Roy McCarvey Black goes over. And the Kiwis will get it in the final moments of the game. So impressed by Samoa defense, says Mog. And Frederick has said, thank you for the commentary. No worries at all. We are still going to be covering, even though it seems like Samoa have now been knocked out of the quarterfinals. We will still be covering the rest of their games, which will include a matchup where they will face the loser of France versus Australia. So be sure to stay tuned for that. It's going to be an epic contest no matter who they play. We know that the Samoans, they'll be disappointed with what had happened in this contest, and we know that they'll be able to fire back. And we look forward to seeing what they can do. New Zealand, they were the more clinical side out of the two. And also, there are too many errors for Samoa. Exactly right. Unfortunately, you cannot afford to drop the ball so many times in a game of sevens. It just gives that possession back. If you look at the possession stat for this game, I'd say New Zealand probably had about 75% of it. And that is the thing that really cost Samoa in this match, unfortunately. 12 points to 0. New Zealand managed to get themselves the win. They'll be happy with that. They move through to the semi-finals to take on Australia or France. Thanks for the live chat. Says Sanarivi, no worries at all. And we will be back for the next matchup, ladies and gentlemen, which is going to be South Africa versus Ireland. And also, hi, everyone. Sorry Samoa played, but All Blacks win, says Vidya there. And was lucky the New Zealand also made them work, says Nate. Yeah, there were still some big shots being put in by Samoa. They had their little moments. Tuitama, not quite on the same wavelength as the rest of the side, unfortunately. He didn't pass that ball out wide to Scanlon, which I think could have been an easy try. Instead, took the contact. They've had a couple little things there, the handling as well. It just didn't quite go the way that Samoa wanted it to in this contest. And New Zealand, they'll still have things to work on for their next matchup. They made a couple big errors that other sides, if they had been more clinical, may have been able to make the most of. And can you type Gina Mitter on YouTube? Probably not. To be honest, I'll probably get ready for the next live stream rather than searching YouTube. But the next one is starting in 3 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. And it is going to be a very exciting one indeed. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're on the road to 22,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. Hope you guys did enjoy the commentary. We've got 3 more quarterfinals that we are doing tonight. So be sure to check those out as well. In fact, this live stream will redirect you straight to South Africa versus Ireland. So we are ready to go for the very next match. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one. And also, Ty has said thanks for the live commentary, buddy. Thank you very much for being here, Ty. I didn't want to miss that message because I did just see it come through right at the end. But I will see you all for the next one.